welcome to our spring reading, celebrating another year of creative writing here at the Fine Arts Center. For some of us, it's our fourth year. Raise your hands or shout. They can't see you. Shout if it's your fourth year. Woo! For some of us, it's our third year. Shout if it's your third year. All right. Second year students? Brand new first year students. All right. For some of us, it's their 19th year. Woo! That's really only me, I think. And we're all really excited to be here today and to have you guys witness just a small sampling of the very many things that we've done over the course of the year. Some of your students are going to read some poetry tonight, which we started way back in the fall in August when we were totally different people. Do you remember that, guys? Some of us are going to read little fiction excerpts or creative nonfiction excerpts, but all of us, whether they've been in my class or in Ms. O'Donnell's class, have really put a huge amount of effort, care, inventiveness, chutzpah, I dare say, into the creation of these pieces. So we're really delighted to get a chance to share. Here at the end of the year, I always like to take a second, kind of privately or on stage, to reflect a little bit about what we have done this year. And it seems like the years go so quickly that sometimes it's hard to gather our thoughts and think how we could possibly have fit all our many achievements into 1 year's worth of work. So this year we completed our first year-long visiting artist residency with Lydia O'Donnell stepping into the creative writing classroom. So if you give a hand to Lydia. Thank you. Lydia is moving on to a PhD program in Boston, so we're sad to see her go, but really excited to all the next steps that are coming for her in the future, and we will miss her very much. This year we've also seen our seniors, some of us, our first year seniors, some of us who have been here for all 4 years, are graduating and moving on. I'm going to forget some things, guys, so it's not personal, don't worry about it. But some of us are going to Sarah Lawrence next year, some of us are going to Clemson, some of us are going to Washington College, my alma mater, so I feel kind of psyched about that. Some of us are going to Davidson, some of us are going maybe to Mount Holyoke, I'm not really sure. I don't know if we know yet. So we're going all over the place. Some of us are going to Greenville Tech. Some of us are sticking around town. Some of us are going way up north. We're going all over the place, and I'm just really delighted, again, to see the kind of fanning out of the Fine Arts Center experience all across the country. So please don't forget to come back. Don't forget to email me and tell me what you're doing. When I do not email you back promptly, don't hold it against me or take it personally. You know what I get like when I'm busy. If you really want to hear back from me right away, like join Facebook and send me like a Facebook message, right? Or join Instagram and send me an Instagram message. And then forgive my Instagram posts, which are mostly cat butts. We also have won a lot of awards this year. We have 2 gold medalists in the Scholastic National Art and Writing Award, one of whom is with us reading tonight. That's a really hard and exciting sort of position to get to, because it means out of about 600,000 art and writing applicants, these 2 students, one of whom is a first semester or first year freshman, have been chosen to be national award winners. So get a little round of applause for that. It's a big deal. We had a finalist with distinction in the Young Arts program, which is another big deal and difficult to do. And I don't think B can be here tonight, but B. Fink was sent. Oh, where's B? I can't see. B. Fink went to Miami. For the Young Arts Week, where she got to sort of be among fellow artists of her age and cohort, many of whom B will pop up again and again in your life, for better or for worse. So look out. So that's another really big deal in a massive national contest. We had many, many honorable mentions and a first place winner in the Hollins University Poetry Contest. We have students going on to summer internships at the Adroit Journal. We have students going on to summer programs at Kenyon. We really are just doing phenomenal stuff. But more important than any of those things, no offense, winners, is the fact that we've created a culture here that really supports not only our great public national successes, but also our incremental growths on a daily basis. Those things that we don't tend to recognize, we don't put on Instagram, even if they're accompanied with a cat butt. We don't talk about as much because they're hard to define. But every day, a student who got a little bit better at what they were doing, every day a student who tried something and it totally flopped, like it was awful, everyone was like, what? Those are huge successes. Those are really, every day a student who got a little bit more confidence to share their voice, or who said something hard in class, either about their own work or to somebody else about theirs. Every day a student who grew did that because we've created a culture in this classroom that supports innovation. It supports experimentation. It supports failure. And guys, you don't know because you're really young, but it is so hard to find a place in this world that will support you while you fail, as well as applaud you while you succeed. So a round of applause to yourselves for being that community. All right, I'm going to shut up because this night is not about me. It's about you guys. So I'm going to introduce our first reader. They're going to cycle through. You're going to be amazed. There will be some scraps of food left. It looked like locusts descended before we even started, but there's food out there. And also, this is a free event because we feel like parents should be able to come in and hear us, but we don't put on these events for free. I provided that food for the locusts. So if you feel like donating, a $5 donation is deeply appreciated. I'll use it to buy food for the next event. I'll use it to buy books. We'll use it to pay for guest artists. We'll use it to support your students in all their very many goals. So thank you so much for being here. Our first reader is Ophelia Stoker.
My name is Ophelia Stoker, and this is the poem that I won my gold medal for Scholastic for. It's called No Men But in Cats. August 2024 to April 2025, house on Maplewood. Men's shirts, men's pants, men's boxers all fallen off the bed, yet to fold. Dirtied bowls, instant ramen, soak in sink water for weeks. Dry scrub daddy next to the faucet, perfect for daddy's untouched hand. Child upstairs on their tablet, dad's car in the driveway. Reels, phone, blanket, man, lawnmower, sweat, children upstairs. Mom's planner filled every day. Saturday, Sunday, care for kids. Dark blue sofa, plush, used too much, socks on floor, stinky stain, fallen lawn chair in abandoned, chlorophylled backyard. Rotten lettuce, produce drawer, freezer burnt ice cream, red bag chicken, crumbs and things stuck to feet, roach-infested microwave, pill organizer, girls' bathroom, fluoxetine, hydroxyzine, methylphenidate, lukewarm water first, antidepressants last, no chaser. August 2025 to April 2025 to August 2025, house on Maplewood. Pointy car, $5 extra monthly, busied wife, telehealth, shit credit equals irresponsible dad. August 2025 to when? Happy house on Haygood. Zillow, legal documents, signing a lease, mother, daughters, all dried up pens, boxes, trash bags, loaded cars, filled with bedding, books, furniture, new apartment, 2 cats clean, plastic vines, build own bed, posters, no mismatched man's sock or a stick of Old Spice in sight. Folded striped socks, women's XLTs, stick of Dove, burning soy candles, Sunday family meeting, Snugfest, new kitten running amok. Post-school, downtown walk to library, hold shelf, upstairs, non-fic, Dewey Decimal 158.1. Saturday, daddy-daughter date, park, fast food. You don't know how hard it's been. Imagine, punching face, punching bag, face bright red, spittle flying, ripped up weeds, hacked up cabbage trunks, rip them up, hot face, film of sweat and anger, yelling at him, I deserve a dad. Home to mom's, steamy bath, candlelit, Dr. Teal's soft folky strumming CD player. Grime gone down the drain, moonlight coming in from the window, towel off, cotton nightdress, comforter, book from library, leather journal, curled cat, curled boy cat, fat, bow tie collar sitting on my chest like a weighted blanket. Wake up, Prozac, methylphenidate, hydroxyzine, ride to school with happy mom, no dad.
Check, check. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Christopher Ray Anderson. This is a story about dogs. It's called Dogs, 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 the President of the United States of America. This is after Dog by Lawrence Ferlinghetti. Dogs, dogs, dogs! For 5 long minutes, a golden-haired labradoodle was the President of the United States. Well, maybe only if you ask the Great Dane to his right, chewing on the arm of the Secretary of State, and only then if the Dane were true to his name. To him, the new POTUS was just elected through a holmgang, a trial by combat, a much more direct democracy than we've had in ages. And our president stood there proud in those 5 minutes in the Oval Office, licking up the blood spilled over the light whitish rug. The fat old man dripped from the fur on his presidential chin. 35 minutes before, there was a great running of dogs down every street in D.C. Every cage and every pound burst open with a howl from every dog. A barking and running down city streets followed. The siege of the White House had begun. The dogs ran right through the gates meant for cars and trucks. They ran with such resolve, tongues out, flapping in the wind. Brave hounds lay dead all over the bright green lawn, shot down by snipers on the roof. Jets were scrambled, but they weren't so sure what to do. The dogs were too fast, and the men were too few to stop them. A big, tall Doberman was the first to break open the doors to the White House proper. He was blown away by a Secret Service agent with a shotgun the moment they swung open. It blasted a hole in his chest, and slender and proud, he hit the ground, and from behind him, in came the horde of dogs. Running right through the doorway, they pounced on the man. He was quickly overpowered, then devoured. The Secret Service fought the dogs room to room for their lives, wielding rifles like clubs. When they ran out of ammo, they lost. They made their final stand in the hallway right outside the Oval Office, but they were outmatched by the slobbering crowd of dogs. Each man's death announced with the sound of a dirge of dog nails on gray marble. The door was barricaded from the inside with chairs, and they had locked out the Secretary of Defense. He banged on the white doors and pleaded for his life. He was quickly savaged by the swarm of retrievers and shepherds and pit bulls and border collies, the latter of which had just finished eating Mrs. Homeland Security. Blood pooled under the white doors and into the Oval Office, and the head of the Department of War died with a whimper. Every room in the White House was littered with still, bleeding bodies and dogs, except for this one. The dogs pawed and clawed at the bloody doors. It was the only sound to be heard, except for the police sirens outside. The dogs stood on their hind legs against the door. More and more piled on until they heard the chair falling inside, followed by a gasp from the men. The dogs were unleashed on the room, and inside the next few minutes were complete pandemonium, like destruction, the fall of Rome, but with dogs. The few Secret Service agents in the room fired wildly as teeth clamped onto their arms and legs. They shot dogs, walls, paintings, and the Speaker of the House right between the eyes. He fell as dogs kept filling the room. A stampede through now open doors, they jump over the Secretary of Defense. Men with guns were quickly taken to the ground. They were eaten. The President and the Vice President were found hiding together under the Resolute desk. They were discovered by a small schnauzer who heard the noise of their shoes shuffling. The Vice President was pulled out first, by his ankle. Dog slobber on his suit pants. He was quickly, unceremoniously dispatched right there on the floor by his desk. His neck was torn open by a brown, energetic boxer. And as he gurgled, the President of the United States leapt up from under his desk and tried to make a run for it. Over the desk, the man moved his body like he hadn't in years. He sprinted for a beautiful moment before he tripped over the warm, dead hand of an agent. He fell hard on the bloody rug, and that young, golden-haired doodle was upon him. The other dogs backed off as he bit the old man all over. Bites on his forearms, thighs, legs, fingers chewed off. The president tried to kick him off, but he was unrelenting. Finally, he went in for the president's neck. It was an intimate moment, like between two lovers. As his teeth sunk into the man's neck and hot blood sprayed the dog and the floor and the chin of the president. He died then and there of shock and blood loss. And as that golden doodle looked up, blood dripping off his chin, he was the new president of the United States of America, the dog president. And as his cabinet finished off the moaning, groaning men, a floppy-eared, short-haired German pointer stood still as a sign, pointing towards a curtain behind the desk. Tail like an exclamation mark, she pulled back the curtain with her teeth to reveal a man hiding. A barrel-chested man with pasty skin who looked vaguely like a certain short-haired Austrian painter, just in the hair. The dogs were quickly upon him. Jumping over the resolute desk, they bounded, jumping through the air unbothered by the sound of chopping blades and soaring engines from the Black Hawk helicopter in the window. The pilot inside scanned the room, and his mouth moved. He said something into the radio, and he locked eyes for a moment with the dog president. Blood still dripping off his proud chin, the dog howled like a wolf announcing its kill. His first executive order was heard by no man as the room was blown to hell. Thank you.
All right. My name is David Young, and this is my poem, The Tower of Babel, after Tower of Babel by Peter Bruegel the Elder. People are gathered at the Tower of Babel. They pick up tools, constructs they created, and begin to raise stone atop stone. Animals are also gathered at the Tower of Babel. They haul stones back and forth and begin to add height. The Spirit is also gathered at the Tower of Babel, walking forwards and backwards, grabbing rough voices and cracking them upon his knees. Dust is gathered at the Tower of Babel now. As the tower itself falls, dust rises, clouding everything in sight. Sight flees away from the Tower of Babel. Darkness falls as the sun frowns down upon them, and reeds sway with many voices. Curses are thrown at the Tower of Babel. Curses at the stone, curses at God, but no curses at themselves. Silence. Silence sits hunched on the remains of the Tower of Babel. Anger, pain, and a willingness to touch the sky, all gathered at the foot of the Tower of Babel. And the sky is no further than before. And that's all.
Hi, my name is Carolyn Vizana, and I'll be reading Waste Away Industries, my poem. This poem won the Silver Key Regional Award for Scholastic. Few notes I have about this poem is that it's very form-based, so the reading experience aloud is different from reading it on page, but I'll try my best to show that in my tone. Gazing at the heaven-reaching tree, branches reaching to the world, each rustle from hurricane-off coast winds leaves leaves reaching for the ground, for somewhere to rest in finally completed growth. Searching through green living grass, through finished living oranges and browns, I find two daisy weeds fighting for life in yellow warm sun bright color. Stopping at the corpse wasp striped, bitter yellow and black feathers, small lonesome dead, almost unnoticed, except for the eye trail of ants and the halting steps at beautiful daisy bright feathers. Clenching in my hand 4 stems 1 branch, to be taken inside and observed, and when I'm done with this poem, they will be returned to decompose as they should. Found objects. Pasture leaf picked up, daisy bark grass grabbed, mulch leaf snatched as the flock moves place to place. Coil curved decaying leaf selected. It's like the 5 stages of grief. Branch of dead leaves as a finale to my progression. Near a small tree, the wasp striped feathers are buried. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ezra Churches, and this is my poem, Wild Horses in Open Plains. It's dedicated to my older sister. 1. We stand together somewhere Midwest, where the open sky spreads as far as our dark eyes can see, and beyond that too. You graze in the fields and drink from streams of clear water running over stones. I stand in the grass and stare off at the mountains, snow-capped peaks, and eagles flying. 2. The television plays at no volume. Voices speak in the other room. I lay my head on your shoulder and the rest of me on your side. Your elbow digs into my rib, and you thank me for warming your cold feet with my legs. Rosa runs down the stairs and falls onto the couch beside you. She tosses my hand away and folds over you like I have, her head next to mine. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Chloe. Ooh, this is loud. Okay. This is my poem, My Heart is Tied to the Other Side of the World with a Feeble String. It's a bit of a long title, but. My heart is tied to the other side of the world with a feeble string. Sometimes I pull on it, though I'm scared it will break, but still it never lets go. Sometimes I try to walk on it like a tightrope, but every time the other side seems near, it's so much farther away. Sometimes I think I've reached the other side, but then another string comes and wraps around my waist and pulls me away again with an unknown strength. Sometimes I try to stay, so I scratch at the earth until dirt fills my nails and my throat fails me from all the screaming. Sometimes I let the string take me because I'm too scared to keep going or to leave, so I just follow along and keep quiet. Sometimes I imagine jumping with the string still wrapped around me like a baby attached to its mother's umbilical cord, and yet the string is still too strong to escape, so I cry and fall into a fetal position. Sometimes I imagine not being dragged back, but every time I am dragged back to wherever I came from, though I'm not sure I know where that is anymore. Sometimes I feel like an alien in my own home, and I dream of a familiar planet where people are like me, selfish and selfless and petty and pretty, yet here I am anyway back at square one. My heart is tied to the other side of the world with a feeble string. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sirius Boyer. This is a currently untitled poem. There's a certain type of liminal space that only exists in hostels and gas station bathrooms. Off-color, eggshell brown, carpets in blues and toothache red. The ladies' room, cleaner by far, asylum post-sunset. I'm proud to be a man, a monster, one of 10 people who ever sympathized with Johnny Truant, sitting on soda-slicked tile floor with his back to the wall. Fluorescent lights, LEDs. Put your hand to the sun and feel your skin flake. Skip 5 songs. The right ear has stopped working and forgotten to submit its 2 weeks' notice. $27 and 2 bills and 8 over 1x4. Look the cashier in the eyes and wonder if they know I'm screwed. In the head, or maybe the body. There's no difference in Wonderland in a gas station past golden hour. Residue gathers in the corners like caramel, bloodstains. Body is hidden among gummy bears and complimentary biscuits. Humidity like a tomb, a promise etched in the grout. Out of cash, out of time. Gather your wits, turn, and look God in the eyes. Offline, you can be perceived. Poetry scribbled on the back of receipts and used napkins. This ekphrastic malaise. Hotels, bowling alley carpet, cold showers shaving your legs. A parking lot at night, draining the pool. Movie theaters and stage fright. Checking out, clocking in. Close the curtains, close your wallet, close your eyes. Vestas for the weary, and times locked behind the counter in a little glass box. There is no room to breathe. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sage Samisi, and this is my poem, Pure Southern Competition. There's no satin past December. It's nylon and flesh. In early spring, I wake up before the dark ends and go to the nicest hotel in my town. Each room, ballet, contemporary, jazz, yellow blonde, bright pink bra, rhinestoned hoops, and a mom that looks exactly like them, but whined and distressed. It's beautifully vain, the gaze of a million moldable bodies, and they pray before going on stage. In a red sequin leotard, making eye contact with the judge as they make their descent to the ground. Thank you.
I'm Anya, and today I'm going to be reading In Pearls, I Imagine Mourning a Mother. I'd like to imagine a more explosive beginning, one that held breaths or dropped jaws, but the truth was lame and quiet, and that was that. I can only speak of how it ended. Face up on the apartment floor, unearthed remorse pooling out of her mouth, leaving a stench on the carpet, no matter how many times it was dry cleaned, my socks that sopped it up, the money she was counting when she fell. I flew in for her funeral and bowed toward her body. I thought that she was playing dead, possum style, the way that they startle and then wait for the threat to pass before they unhinge their jaws, set themselves free. Then I touched her firm cheeks and the neckline of her dress. I thought to take in her eyes, her tongue and ears in my hand, and wear her brain. What had she heard? What hadn't she said? And with her mouth, I would spew the complaints I had about her and about the world. From our shared mouth, hers, now mine, they would swell out. Even if I wanted to swallow them down, it would prove impossible. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Sophia, and today I'm going to read two poems. One is When I Sing, and the next one is My Walk on an Autumn Morning, a Synesthesia. When I sing, I walk into a room and close the door. There are no windows, all I see is black, alone in an empty room. But then I hear a tune. I stop occasionally to take breaths as the melody that escapes my lips fills the room. Flash, the lights turn on. The room is wide and filled with possibility. As I carefully count in my head so I don't miss the beat. Suddenly, the room walls disappear, and in a garden I appear to be. The tempo changes, and I pick up the speed. Sweet smells rise as the flowers bloom, and bees quicken their work. When my mouth catches every vowel. As it does, the landscape changes once more. I ride my bike as fast as I can go, up and down the hills where it leads me. Then I abruptly pull my ride to an end, the song returns to its original pace, and rays of the sun reach my heart as dawn breaks. My walk on an autumn morning, a synesthesia. Doors open, I leave the building behind me. Mulch, as brown as the sound of a car horn, and leaves falling from the trees crackle like fire. But the air is cold and dark clouds cover the sky, despite the chill of a coming rain. Behind a bush, a flower hides. It is yellow like the smell of potatoes, and bright like the flavor of a fresh strawberry. I move forward and listen to the song of the wind, which is rudely interrupted by cars minding their own business. Then I hear thunder like the taste of dark chocolate. Or is it an airplane, disturbing the noise of what I thought was nature's call? I look up. All I see is blue, heavy clouds. Then suddenly, a single bird flies by, brave for being so close up to the floating sheep, alone, yet his flight has not stopped. My heartbeat rushes with the wind. I glow like the hidden flower. I can't fly like the single bird, so I'll have to walk, orderly as a competition cake at midnight, pink and unfinished.
I'm Anna Zubietta Robinson, and this is a short excerpt of an essay I wrote called An Observation of Beautiful Forms. When I was born, I think we lived in downtown Greenville, but then that house caught fire, and for a while we lived with my dad. Things worked for a little before we moved to the farmhouse with a creek past the field. That was our backyard. Then after mold and mice were found in the walls, we moved to Berea. When we left that house, we lived with my grandma for a time. Then we found a place in Taylor's, my uncle's house. And a few years later, we moved to Simpsonville for 7-ish years, and now we live in Fountain Inn. I grew up in a lot of different houses. Different parts of myself were scattered through each old room. There isn't one sole part of myself I can identify with, because all that I am is constantly inside of me. I am a generally happy person with a pessimistic tendency. I try to be calm in any situation, but sometimes my emotions take control. Hitting, screaming, crying, and shouting are all parts of me, even if I'm not proud to say so. Identity isn't just a one-word label I can apply to myself, because there are so many things I identify with outside of my ethnicity or race or geographic location. I love the feeling of floating in the ocean and the small fish nibbling at my dead skin, or going river walking and falling in the mud, make me smile and laugh in no ways a person ever could. But I do love to share these immense pleasures with someone, because I'm not a solitary person. I thrive in the company of others, so how could I possibly limit myself solely based on uncontrollable parts of me? In the summer at the old farmhouse, my room had a window that led to the roof. I'd climb out there with Lila, my old best friend, and we'd lay down on the shingles as they burned the backs of our legs, imagining what our houses would look like and how many pets we'd have. I never truly understood my identity, and I still don't. I change and experience new things each day. If I never went fishing with my dad, I might never know the thrill of pulling that big fish out of the water and kissing it on its face before it swam back to the safety of the water. And if I never gave Lila that note in our elementary art class, I'd be late to experience the safety of friendship. I don't want to live a life where I never buried my chickens in the backyard, and I don't want to live a life where I never got to experience the feeling of leaning over on a horse's back to whisper my deepest secrets in her ears. I don't want to live a life where I never saw my grandma cry after I asked too many questions. The deepest feelings I have don't come from what I consider my ethnicity. It would be an injustice to the life I have lived to equate my identity with something so inherently materialistic. I am a daughter to all the people who influenced me, and a sister to all the animals I have loved and will love. I am a niece to the old house I spent Uncle Wednesdays in, and also to the wind that caresses my face. I am a neighbor to the farmer across the street, and also to the sun and moon who dance around each other eternally. I am a threat to all the squirrels and birds in the trees, no matter how much I wish to hold them. And I'm also a friend to the girls with hair on their backs that swirl into soft patterns before they shave it away. I could never limit the presence of this world by labeling each part I see. I exist in so many ways, more than I can ever fully understand. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Margot Ritter, and I'm going to be reading 2 poems for you tonight. So shout out to B for both helping me decide and keeping me from being fully decisive. This first piece is from 2 perspectives divided in half, and I hope that the perspectives make sense when I say the title. Hansel, Gretel. Don't you love this chicken bone, my finger so slim, belly gorged? Boys taste better like gumdrops and gingerbread walls, as crumbs to birds, as pebbles to moonlight. Sister, do I look good in a cage, a perched canary to sing tunes of dinner time and evil mothers? My plate is full of ripened fruit, oven fresh bread spread with jam and butter. I have long known hunger as the sight of something that speaks a different language, that refuses. I feed like a bird, crumbs crust the burnt ends of failed love. This time is sugar-coated servitude, better smelling than the life before when I knew of an oven, but not of its use. Brother, are you well? Are you ruining the crumbs that could not lead us to the home we did not love? Enjoy the meal and the air streaming through your wooden bars. Possess it all and fear the end. And my second poem is about how the mother always dies before the beginning of a fairy tale. Dead mother. Oil stroke, cerulean, ruby, emerald, the tip of the unclimbable mountain where dead men lay to rest for the sight of the sun melting the snow. You are the carrier pigeon of messages extinct, almost a real woman, but not quite. The portrait and the study, the facsimile of pink lips, kind eyes. Relish this eternal youth. You are the side of the Venn diagram etched in stone. We suck the marrow of your bones like pixie sticks and whisper, too sweet, too sweet. This mound of ever-fresh dirt, this undying flower of your pink open palm, is to us the lie of reflection. You are the reason the stepmother looks in the mirror and sees something crusted, in need of redemption, something plated, not pure. You are the keeper of the keys to affection, the step that cries, too cold, when all are around to hear. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Charlotte Popat, and this is my poem, Ode to Friendship. In another life, we are constellations in the black night, a picture of emptiness until you squint the right way, and just like that, there we are, like we'd always been together. In another life, we are wildflowers on the side of the road, seeds once randomly tossed in the wind turned eclectic collection of blooming beauties, growing parallel until no creature could deny how perfectly our pigments played. In another life, we are princesses ruling over our respected kingdoms, forced on a quest to fight to the death for the ultimate throne, and yet we emerge as one, for the crown is far too heavy for one head to hold. In this life, we are tight-knit lovers of laughter and haters of algebra, matcha drunk on dreams of sunsets and champagne, our hearts strung together with fairy lights that no situationship could ever dim. In this life, we are sweatshirt sleeves sweeping tears from peony cheeks, distraught because Jack and Rose couldn't both fit on the door, and because adulthood barrels towards us faster than our mascara can dry. In this life, we find peace in knowing that we are loved despite our SAT scores, that even when it rains, we dance to Billy Joel and twirl our maxi skirts with reckless abandon through the stars in the sky because we are each other's wishes, kissed into the universe when we were small. We are each other's bridesmaids for the non-existent wedding. We are each other's tutors on the chemistry quiz. We are each other's stylists in the anthropology dressing room. We are each other's mothers when we can't zip up a dress. We are each other's pillow when we succumb to sleep. We are each other's lights when our insides feel gray and meaningless. We are each other's angels on each other's shoulders who shout into each other's ears, "You are enough here." In this life, we are constellations in the black night, a picture of emptiness until you squint the right way. And just like that, there we are. Thank you.
This is my piece, Sun-Kissed Love on a Tuesday Morning, and I'm Tyler Clark. The sun peeked through the clouds, orange peeled spilled from her fingers, me and her, sitting at the picnic table. Little ants scurrying across the wood cracks. unperfect, marked with kids coloring, arts and crafts, nature. Clementine smell blossom in the air. Words spilled off her tongue, elegant. A beautiful girl in clementines. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Amelia Ortiz, and I'll be reading my poem that has a temporary title of Favorite Colors. I don't know what my favorite color is. It's such a simple question that I get asked all the time, but there's so many answers that run through my head over and over again like a track. What is my favorite color? Red. Love, hearts, anger. A color ever too human, like the blood clawing up and down our veins, beating through our hearts. Or blue, like her eyes. They looked too cold for her warmth in her heart. Blue like tranquil water and the mockingbirds outside my window. I love purple, like the Converse she wore every day, every single day. Purple like lilacs, or the strip in the twilight sky that was only visible for a few minutes every day when we looked at it. From my bedroom window, I look up at it, wondering if she was looking at it too that night. She promised me she'd be in the sky if she were gone, where all the angels belong. White, like her pale skin, almost too soft, almost too gentle. I will powder your body, love or smudge canola oil all over your smile, though she will not smile for me anymore. A caress of her cheek, what I would dream to do if only for a moment. White like the snow outside our cabin, she and I will hug even if I can no longer feel her. We will keep warm together, frozen breast to breast and forever locked in each other's arms. I wish I had never let go. And she made me hate brown, the color of rotting love, a color only measurable to pain, its own embodiment crushing me, crushing my heart, stuffing my veins. Or peach. She made me hate peach, the color of my own skin that she said was as beautiful as the earth, that you said was as striking as the sky, and now when I look at myself, I can only feel your touch, I can only smell your perfume, I can only taste your lips on mine. A cursed hell in which I live, hating Puerto Rico for giving me the skin you love so much and the hair you twirled between your fingers. I hate brown, the color of the fresh dirt blanket they gave you, which you said wasn't your color, but soon, my love, grass will grow, and you will be as sweet as the flowers and as bright as the day. And you are my favorite color. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Linda McLean, and this is my piece, Crafted from the Roots. The lace remembers every thread plucked, and the mazes you unraveled and created. When little dolls look at you to dress them, to braid their synthetic fibers into intricate updos that you couldn't do on yourself, and still always ended in a knot. Those unbothered little toy army men turned you green when you played with them. But there were so many that you didn't mind the stains and found them reasonable and fitting. Not finding it strange that they could stand alone on their own 2 feet. You came into the world in the form of something soft and malleable and petty, with soggy slicked hair in the form of a squid born from an underbelly that you crawled out of and began to hate. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Rakaya Ray. I forgot my glasses, and this is Hesperus. Brown freckled pear, cushioned into soft rolls, valley dark and solid with tunnels. Honeydew wisp through the breeze, body round, tumbled onto two boulders, struck with lightning and pinned down. Wired on the vertebrae, amber in rain, turning valley to mahogany stone, worms may possess red dirt. Squalls of crows throng the sky, the Carmen roads carved deep into sprouts, blooming petunias alongside lotus, falling into warm autumn, swan diving through deep breaths. Blanketed beneath dark skin, faithfully it waits, the waking lands. Petals dance around the pistil, a remedy of new age dawns upon them, and millennias of wizening, sun-scorned skin, freckled and daring, runs along a noir. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Gina, and this is my short story, Unwind, after James Joyce. Double-decker and single-deck. Downtown lived, breathed wild in an asphalt cage, cold as Smith walked down to the sky-scraping, cloud-licking building he could have found in any dark. What's the point, he said aloud, but Brits heard from behind. Money, he said. That's your point, the only one. If there was any to be found in the banks or spears of Greece, and he happened to be one of those dejected. All plants in the sun. He was a light leecher on a tree, one of glass cement and fiber optics. It always broached the question of the ground. Brits opened the door. The man was a downright Hyperion, but still lacking for brightness. After you, he said. You're more of a leecher than I, Smith said. And that's the point. 2844, too many feet in the atrium, tall and crowded. Smith flashed his badge at the scanner. Knew, that was, technology to show off till the next boom or bust. Both happened last year, cyber attack. The internet didn't have a Swiss guard. Did have smileys, those plague and emails, did have rats and all the rest. Mice too. Ads, he knew, a plus. He led Brits to the elevator, pressed one button. Who has the most matches? The office of the Most High was a box. The man himself sat in a chair, arms folded before him, face set as Easter but eyes quick jackrabbit, unfolded knife arms and raised hands. What have you got today? Smith jabbed a thumb toward the man beside. Something to add. An ad? What else went unspoken? The editor-in-chief set his stare, a commander's stare, not the falling kind he was, alacritus even. Nothing to lose but time. Sir, I have a small business, a small business. So do I, said the Most High. Well, it's excellent, Brits replied, but mine can't reach the public, unlike your regular iris of a site. I'm a restorer of artwork, specifically Edwardian cameo brooches. It's a fascinating history, really, and I've written an article about it. I'd be honored if you published along with the pop-up. She threw the soup in the waiter's face. No! The editor gave the two men an imploring look, leaning Pisa over the desk, a ramrod slant. Optics, he barked. We have a big picture business here, no room for cameos. What the hell is a cameo? Our viewers want the curtain, not the curator's wing. Smith, after the deal with the pillowcases, I expected more. Smith darted a glance toward Brits. I know, he said, just thought. You didn't think, said the commander editor. You're a couple of harkers. Just think. Go. We won every time. It was a mistake on the clammy, wet steps, but I would never admit it. It could have worked. I didn't say what I wanted, what I didn't, what Brits wanted. Either way, just Ulalim or Eulalie. That's that. They're dead. I'm chasing windmills. Brits stamped up and down again, shaking a fist at the skyscraper. Everybody's right, he cried plaintively. It's Maxim and me, and I'm the fool. Out, damn spot. I'm off to be a barista. And money, it's the root of all evil, isn't it? Then I wish I were the devil. At the bottom of the steps, Smith raised another futile defense. There's always another chance. You could try Etsy. Britt sat down beside Smith and put his face in his hands. Smith cast about for more ideas, but came up with nothing. Is there anything I can say? He asked. As long as it isn't much, muttered Britz. What? As long as it's nothing, he said. That's all. Thank you.
Hello, I am Vincenzo Carrington. If you couldn't tell, my voice is kind of congested, so kind of sucks. And today I will be reading a short little thing called The Lobotomy. I sat there in my apartment. I looked out my window, saw the whole Thanksgiving Macy's parade. All those raving buffoons, all those lunatics, just prancing around the road as they all screamed and shouted from the floats and oh my god. As y'all shouted from the floats and the various crowds of people as they waved their hot dogs and phones and dogs. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. I watched them all. I looked oh my god. I looked down at them all incredulously. I looked to, oh my god, I cannot do this. Thank you. I look to what other people would prefer as a conspiracy crazy board, or what I would like to call as my board of truth and factual evidence. All those raving lunatics out there who always had this sense of pride, arrogance, and meaningless narcissism that seemed okay. I stood there. What again?
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Oh man, you guys are missing out. This kid, are you sure? Because I could do it with you.
No, I think I'm good.
All right, this is Vinny.
I'm Tess Gandolfo, and this is my poem, Hands Unfurled. Some stories can't be seen, by which I mean when it rains, I close my eyes, or rather open them, and don't blink when my pupils blur and the sky breaks above me. I've learned to decorate my words, which hurts me as a person that is, to be sewing pretty patterns when the reason I write is simply to hold my own plainness. I can't trust the words I put to paper anymore because I'm no longer lying to you, but to myself when I say I've found my voice. Like the clouds stripped away when the thunder calms, my voice wavers. And again, my words look fake. It is there, shuddering in my falseness, with only the words I was born crying to keep me company that I see, with eyes unflinching towards the breaking sky, the story that can only be felt. The one
where I am not my words, but the way my body breathes, and my fingerprints yearn, burning towards the friction of passing time. Where I am not my ever-present past, but my eyes tracing endless outlines on a skin already patched with stories, told and untold. Where I am not my hands when they tire, but the maps that they unfurl, imbued in every crack, leaf, granule of dirt. My hands that felt so solid as I clung to the feathered lies I wrote and sold when my life depended on it, aren't holding anything but that lightning bug, rattling, to once again be mistaken for a star. Thank you.
Hi. I'm Sally Liggett, and this poem is called My Mother Has a Dream About Anthony Bourdain. Would you stop stepping off the sidewalk, she says, but past the curb there is another and another, stretching a patchwork over the road. Infinite sidewalks and no place to drive a car. They walk anywhere down the threatless street to dinner. I always picture Chicago, Clark Street. Funny how she never said that. I suspect it's genetic, a recessive trait on the Polish side. In our dreams, we are good dinner dates and no one is dead. Even the beef cows are holding hooves, mooing. What a beautiful night we have. How lucky are we, she dreams the stars in Technicolor. For us. Thanks. I think that's it.
Is that Sarah? And come up and join, do the closing spiel. Let's give another hand for all of the readers. Some of my students, you were hiding those poems somewhere. You pulled out some new ones. Where did those come from?
I know, it was amazing. It was amazing.
It's amazing. I think y'all don't know, especially for the family in the audience, how hard it is to do this until you try it. You're about to throw up. Your hands are shaking. It's horrible. So I'm so proud of them again. Great job, all of you, and all of Sarah's students and all of mine too.
And if you like that, and if you want a little bit more, we will be performing at Elevate a week from Saturday. We'll be on the big stage in Gunther Theater at the Peace Center. And we're also going to be performing at the Rising Stars stage at Artisphere downtown at 11 a.m. on Saturday of the Artisphere Festival, which I think is May 19th, but don't quote me on it because I'm bad with numbers. May 9th. I knew there was a 9 in there somewhere. This is why I'm a writing teacher, not a math teacher. So please come down and enjoy us at that as well. And otherwise, you know where to find us. So if you enjoyed this experience, if you were puzzled by this experience, if this experience made you a little bit uneasy, if you felt enlivened, disgusted, mildly radicalized by this experience tonight, congratulations, you had an art experience. So please come enjoy our snacks, consider tipping your friendly neighborhood art school, and we will see you at our next event. Thank you, and thank you to the readers.